All right. Well, thank you everyone who is in attendance. I will go ahead and let our individuals from the Financial Aid Office go ahead and get started on their presentation. So thanks again.
All right, Breanne, thank you so much. My name is Malory Warner, and I am a Student Services Manager with the WVU Hub. So let's start off with discussing what is the WVU Hub. We are your connection to student accounts and billing, financial aid, including scholarships, federal work-study employment, and registrar and academic records, including transcripts, enrollment verification, pre-registration priority time tickets. For questions regarding specific registration for courses, as well as the progress of your degree, those are things that you would need to speak with your academic advisor about. We are not permitted to discuss those issues with you. So how will you hear from us? We have several different methods, but most importantly, check your email. The WVU Hub will send important emails to your mixed email account. So you'll want to pay attention to notifications that come from the Hub. We do send information pertaining to your financial aid, scholarships, balances due, refunds, and student employment. Emails are always sent to your mixed account, not your personal email or your parents' email. And you do need to check your mixed email regularly via the WVU portal or set up mix access on your mobile devices. So how can you contact us? We have several different methods. You can request for online assistance, which is our email equivalent. You can call us on the phone. We're available from 8:15 to 4:45 Monday through Friday. We also offer virtual assistance via Zoom. We have in-person assistance by appointment, and you can visit hub.wvu.edu/contact for information on all the methods that are available to contact us. How do I access my information? So all of your information is going to be available through portal.wvu.edu. So STAR, which is this button here, is the system where you can view your student records, add or drop courses, access your transcripts, and more. And the financial aid information section is where you can review financial aid offers, review financial aid eligibility criteria, including renewal and financial aid holds. You can access your WVU My account or the billing system by the yellow button that says Pay Your Bill Here. There you can view, again, your billing details, access your official on-demand statements, make payments, authorize parents or guests to view charges or make online payments. And if you would like to see tutorials on how all of that works, you can go to studentaccounts.wvu.edu/tutorials. So this is what your WVU My account is going to look like when you access it. So if you click on the My account up at the top and choose account activity, it will bring up your student account balance. If you click on the little arrows next to everything, it will bring it down for more detail. So here you see estimated financial aid, which in this situation is actually a remaining payment plan that the student has on their account for $8,845.60. And then if you scroll a little further down, you'll see the account activity. So you can see that the student has already made payments in the amount of $2,211.40. They had a subsidized and unsubsidized loan that dispersed to their account or paid to their account. And then you see their charges as well. So their university fees, their college tuition, their university tuition, and this student had an additional online student support fee. So the total charges for this semester for this student was $14,079. The total credits and anticipated credits were $4,933.40. So that is the payments here. And then they have a term balance of $8,845.60. And again, if we go back here, we can see that that is what their remaining payment plan is going to cover. for a remaining term balance of 0. And if they wanted to view past semesters, they could click on the little down arrows here. And if you want to view more information on any of these details, you can also click on any of these and they will show you more detail. How can parents or guests access my information? So there is a law, it's the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, or FERPA, that protects the student's privacy of education records such as financial aid, billing details, schedule details, grades, etc. We cannot release protected information to parents or guests unless the student grants them access to that information. Directory information is public, so things like your dates of attendance, the degree that you earned, may be disclosed at WVU's discretion without explicit permission, and that would be like for employment purposes, but students can choose to withhold your directory information as well. And for more information on all of that, you can go to ferpa.wvu.edu. If you wanted to grant proxy access and parent guest portal, so access to your STAR account, this will allow parents and guests to view financial aid information in academic records via their own login. It also allows parents and guests to discuss protected information with the WVU Hub and other offices upon confirming the passphrase. The exception to this is the GPA. We will not discuss GPA over the phone. A student can revoke the permission at any time. If you want to see more details and tutorials on how to set this up, you can go to parent-guest.portal.wvu.edu. And you would also need to set up authorized user access in the WVU My account. This would allow parents and guests to view billing details and make online payments. We again cannot discuss the billing details without the proxy access. So if you wanted them to have access to both, you do need to set up both. And again, you can find tutorials on how to set that up at the studentaccounts.wvu.edu/tutorials. So this is what it looks like when you set up proxy access in STAR. There are some must-haves. So if you want more than one person to have access to your account, then you do need to set up separate accounts for each proxy. You have to provide them with a passphrase. Again, this is the verbal password that they have to confirm with us whenever they call in. It does have to have a valid end date, and under the authorizations tab, you do need to set up what information you want your proxy to have access to. And you would also, again, need to add the authorized user in the WVU My account. You click on the authorized users on the right-hand side of the page. You provide an email address for them, and there's a couple of things that you have to agree to allow them to have access to see. And then it sends them a couple of emails to get them set up. It's really quite simple. So next, we're going to go over a financial aid overview. So financial aid is any financial resources to help lower the costs of post-secondary education. These can be federal, state, school, which include institutional and departmental or private aid sources. And the different types of financial aid are grants, scholarships, work study employment, loans, and other resources. Aid for graduate students is limited. Other than federal work study, graduate students are not eligible for need-based federal aid, such as Pell Grants and the federal subsidized loan. We currently do not award institutional scholarships to graduate students. Students enrolled in certain majors related to teaching and education could be eligible for the federal Teach Grant. There is an application available on the financial aid website for that. So common financial assistance for graduate students includes the federal direct unsubsidized loan, the federal graduate plus loan, graduate assistant tuition waivers, and other external resources such as sponsorships, external scholarships, and private loans. Is my financial aid guaranteed every year? There are many factors to consider. So there are application requirements, including the free application for federal student aid or FAFSA. If you wanted to apply for external scholarships, there would be an application for that as well. There are academic requirements for renewal. You must maintain satisfactory academic progress, or SAP. We'll talk about that in a little further detail in a few moments. And different types of aid have different academic requirements. So just be sure that you know what the requirements are for the aid that you have. There are also enrollment requirements for financial aid, and there are aid usage limits. So for the unsubsidized loans, graduate students have a maximum limit of $20,500 that they're permitted to borrow each academic year. And you're only permitted to receive aid up to your estimated cost of attendance. And then there is also an aggregate limit, which is cumulative. Graduate students are permitted to borrow up to $138,500, and that would include any loans that you've borrowed for your undergraduate degree, as well as any unsubsidized loans that you borrow for your graduate degree. The Graduate Plus loan would not be included in that aggregate limit. So the free application for federal student aid. Let's see here. You must submit a FAFSA each year for all federal aid and most state aid. The FAFSA for the 2023-24 aid year opened on October 1st. It can be completed at studentaid.gov. It will require 2021 tax information, and for graduate students, your parent information is not required. And there is a priority deadline of March 1st, 2023, but the sooner that you submit the FAFSA, the better. Now, if you would start attending in the summer term, you would want to submit the 2022-23 FAFSA, and it will require 2020 tax information. Also, if you needed additional loans in excess to the $20,500 from the unsubsidized loan, you could apply for the Federal Graduate Plus loan. For the summer of 2023, you would use, again, the 2022-23 Plus loan application. And for fall of 23 and spring of 24, you'll use the 2023-24 Plus loan application, but that won't actually open until April or May of next year. So on to the satisfactory academic progress. You must maintain satisfactory academic progress or SAP requirements in order to meet or to keep your federal and state financial aid for future academic years. For most graduate students, this means that you have to maintain a minimum overall GPA of at least 2.75. You have to complete or earn at least 66.67% of the hours that you attempt. Now, withdrawing from classes after the add drop period, receiving an incomplete and failing classes all have a negative impact on this percentage. We'll go over an example in a few moments. And you also must complete your degree within 150% of the required hours. So what that means is if your program requires 36 hours to complete your degree, you must obtain your degree within 54 attempted hours, or 36 times 1.5. So here's the completion rate example. So this particular student in the fall semester took 4 courses that were 3 credit hours each. They passed history and math with an A, but withdrew from English and psychology. They had an overall semester GPA of 4.0. They earned 6 hours and attempted 12 hours. So the way that we would calculate their completion rate is 6 divided by 12 for 50%. In the spring semester, they attempted and earned 12 credit hours and had, again, a semester GPA of 4.0. So their completion rate for that semester would be 100%. So to get the overall completion rate, we would take the earned hours, 6 plus 12 for 18, and the attempted hours, 12 plus 12 for 24, for an overall completion rate of 75% and an overall GPA of 4.0. So SAP is reviewed at the end of each spring semester. You will be notified via your mixed email if you're not maintaining SAP. Information on how to appeal will be included in the notifications. To increase your chances of approval, you must have an extenuating circumstance beyond your control that impacted your ability to succeed. You do have to provide third-party documentation to support the circumstances. And you must also develop an academic success plan with your advisor showing the courses you will take to come into compliance within 3 semesters. You can view your SAP status in the financial aid information section of the WVU portal, and SAP can also be reviewed in DegreeWorks. So for the enrollment requirements, to be eligible for financial aid, a student must be enrolled in an aid eligible school, in an aid eligible program, and meet the enrollment standard required for each type of aid. So most financial aid requires students to be in a degree seeking program. Some financial aid is for a first bachelor's degree only, such as Pell and the higher education grant. What we would really want to focus on today, though, would be the enrollment requirements, or the. So for graduate students, the enrollment status is different in the fall and spring than it is in the summer. To be considered full-time, you have to be in 9 or more credit hours. 3/4 time is 6 to 8 credit hours. Half time is 5 credit hours, and less than half time is 1 to 4 credit hours. In the summer, 6 or more credits are considered full-time. 4 to 5 is 3/4 time. 3 is half time, and 1 to 2 is less than half time. Where this becomes important is federal loans require that you are enrolled at least half time each semester to receive them. So again, in the fall and spring, you would have to enroll in 5 credit hours, and then the summer you do have to enroll in at least 3 credit hours to take the federal loans. So can all credit hours be included in determining enrollment status for financial aid? For private or external aid, all credit hours can be used. For the federal unsubsidized loan and the federal graduate plus loan, only courses that are eligible for federal aid can be used in determining the enrollment status. Courses do have to be required for degree completion through the and that's referred to as Course Program of Study, or CPOS. And that is a process to ensure that students are enrolled in classes that apply to their degree program or course of study. And the reason why we do this is the Department of Education requires institutions to ensure that federal financial aid is used to pay for courses that apply to the student's degree program. And also another thing to keep in mind is courses must meet the repeated coursework standards. So an example of the Course Program of Study, or CPOS. So if a student is enrolled in English 101 for 2 credits, and History 101 for 3 credits, that would be 5 credit hours, and they would be considered half time. But when we look at if the credits are required to complete their degree program, in this case, English was required, History was not. So they only had 2 credit hours that were required for their degree, so they would be considered less than half time, and the student would not be eligible for federal loans because they're below half time in degree pursuant credit hours. So each aid program has its own specific enrollment requirements for aid to disperse as payment on a student's account. The web link below will take you to a website where all of that is discussed. You can also Google WVU enrollment for specific aid programs. Enrollment status can also impact maximum financial aid eligibility. So if you're not enrolled full-time, that could impact the amount of aid that you can receive for the academic year. Financial aid could also be canceled or reduced due to enrollment status change before a semester starts, during the semester, or after grades are posted. So if you drop courses during add or drop, and you fall below part-time, you could lose eligibility for federal loans. If you do a full withdrawal, we would also have to determine what aid you would be eligible to keep based on the date that you withdrew from your courses. And if you do not have a passing grade in a semester, that is considered an unofficial withdrawal, where we also have to return federal aid to the government. Canceled or reduced financial aid could result in an outstanding balance due to lack of aid payment towards the charges, or the need to return a previously issued refund generated by financial aid. So now we'll go over student accounts and billing a little more. So how are tuition and fees assessed for graduate students in online programs? You can review the tuition and fee chart through tuition.wvu.edu/graduate/ https://morgantown-online. And online graduate programs are uncapped, which means that you are charged per credit hour for as many credit hours as you take. When do charges usually become available for each semester? For the fall term, charges are available in early July. For the spring term, charges are available in late November, and in the summer, they're available in early April. And how do I know if I have a balance that I need to pay? You need to make sure to check your WVU My Account billing system. Billing notifications are sent to the mixed email at the beginning of each month, and always check your account at least once a month to catch any new charges that may be on your account. When are my charges due? You'll want to be sure to check your billing notification to see the due date for the charges that are currently on your account. Make sure your charges are covered by the first day of the upcoming month. We do assess late fees on the second of each month for any remaining balance that's due on an account. And what if I do not pay the past due date or pay by the due date? Any past due balance of a penny to $199.99 will put a transcript hold on your account, which would prevent you from ordering an official transcript. A past due balance of $200 or more will put that transcript hold on your account. You won't be able to register for future semesters, and you would be assessed the late fees of 2.85%. There are also eventual consequences of past due balances that can include losing your eCampus access, removal from classes, and in some cases, your account can be sent to a collections agency. As far as payment options are concerned, you can use financial aid. Please ensure that all requirements are met for the aid to disperse. So, for example, the Graduate Plus loan and the unsubsidized loan both require a master promissory note and entrance counseling to be completed through studentaid.gov. Third-party sponsorship. Make sure the authorization document from the sponsor has been received by the WVU third-party billing department before the due date. External tuition assistance, scholarships, and payments all must be received by the due date. Using a tuition payment plan to break a semester's charges into smaller installments rather than paying in full all at once. We'll go over that in further detail in a few moments. And you can also pay in full online payments via the WVU My Account via e-check with no processing fee. Or you can also use a credit card. There is a 2.85% service fee that's associated with credit card payments. And you can also mail check payments into our office. Again, they must be received by the due date. So now we'll go over some frequently asked questions that were submitted by your department. So the first is, what are the consequences when the application or FAFSA is not done on time? Your financial aid may be delayed, but it will not postpone the due date of your charges, and you may lose certain financial aid eligibility. So for example, for the spring 2023 semester, if you submitted a FAFSA after it was over, we can no longer certify a loan for the fall 2022 and spring 2023. However, if you submitted a FAFSA during the spring semester, we can originate a loan for fall and spring. Also, for federal work study consideration, we do have to receive your FAFSA by the priority deadline of March 1st. Will you get less aid if you are a graduate student versus an undergraduate student? And are there scholarship opportunities available for graduate students? While graduate students are not eligible for most federal grants or WVU scholarships, that you do have a much higher annual limit for the federal unsubsidized loan. Again, it's $20,500 for the academic year. You also have the option of applying for the credit-based Graduate Plus loan. You can check for additional options and opportunities through the Office of Graduate Education and Life. And we also recommend applying through scholarship search engines for external scholarships to assist you with your payments. How does financial aid work? So first you submit your FAFSA and or other applications and accept available financial aid you would like to use. Make sure all of the financial aid requirements are satisfied. You need to accept accepted or approved financial aid will disperse or pay out approximately 10 days prior to the start of the semester or the start of your classes if you're beginning in mid-semester. Dispersed financial aid will apply to WVU charges, so your billable or direct costs. If your financial aid totals more than your WVU charges, the overage will typically be refunded to assist with the non-billable or indirect costs that are included in the cost of attendance. So some billing FAQs. Tuition reimbursement through employers often ask for certain documentation in order to receive that reimbursement. Do you have any tips for how to better prepare for that? So the on-demand statement obtained from the WVU My Account is an official bill. It is available as soon as the charges are assessed for the semester. Again, for the fall, that's in early July. For spring, that's late November. And for the summer, it's in early April. We cannot manipulate what is provided through your WVU My Account or manually create bills per request. For tuition per credit hour, you can provide a copy of the tuition and fee schedule. Again, that can be found at tuition.wvu.edu/graduate/Morgantown-online. That is always available typically in late June for the full academic year, which is fall, spring, and then summer. And for cost per class, you can provide your on-demand statement, a copy of the tuition and fee schedule, and the course schedule showing your credit hours. What types of payment plans are available? Currently, we offer a tuition payment plan with up to 6 installments for fall and spring semesters and up to 3 installments for the summer term. There are upcoming changes to the tuition payment plan. We will be only offering up to 5 installments for fall and spring. And that payment plan does start in the summer term. So is there a deadline to enroll in a payment plan? And you can see by the chart below, to enroll in a 6-month plan we'll just go with the spring semester because that's the one that's upcoming. You would need to enroll by November 30th. For a 5-month plan, December 31st. For a 4-month plan, January 31st. If you wanted to enroll in a 3-month plan for the summer, you have to do that by April 30th, or a 2-month plan, you can enroll in until the 31st of May. How do you enroll in the payment plan? There is a link through your STAR account, but you can also visit studentaccounts.wvu.edu/payment/tuition-payment-plan and click on sign up for a monthly payment plan to access the payment plan portal. This is not going to be related to your WVU credentials, so you will need to create a new user account if you've never used it before. You're going to choose the plan available for the semester. You want to enter your balance due for the semester or the portion that you would like to be set up through the payment plan if you do have other funding sources. You have to pay your first installment plus a $35 enrollment fee at the time of sign up for the payment plan to become effective. WVU will receive your payment plan file within 1 to 2 business days. The payment plan balance will show under the estimated financial assistance on your WVU My Account. And please make sure monthly installments are paid through the payment plan portal and not through your WVU My Account. So I'm going to go ahead and open up for any additional questions that you may have. But while we take those questions, I'm also going to leave the contact information up for the hub so that you can take down that information while we go over any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mallory. That was very helpful.
Absolutely.
So if anyone does have any questions, feel free to either unmute yourself or pop in the chat if you would like to put it in written form instead of speaking.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, so I'm planning to enroll by next summer to start the fall 2023 for the graduate program that is, I think, the integrated communication. I think it's available fully online. And just wanted to know if there is any opportunities to join as a teaching assistant besides taking the or enrolling in the program. I'm not sure if that is the work study employment or how it should be, but because I'm planning to, after getting my master's degree, to be a teaching assistant in the college. That will be my career in the next 2 years. So I wanted to start it ahead of time to give myself a practice within the college or university atmosphere, how the teaching assistant is going, the relationship between the teachers and students and all that, the exposure that I'll have. So is this kind of the concept I have, is it available in West Virginia University or not?
So I'll just go ahead and answer that question.
Sure.
Those are usually not going through federal work study.
Mhm.
You would be able to apply for positions through the career services platform called Handshake. They will be posting teaching assistant, research assistant positions. It's
Mhm.
not typically going through our office. Opportunities are indeed out there. If you are hired, then you could be eligible to receive the graduate assistantship through the Office of Graduate Education and Life, like Malory mentioned earlier. So yeah, if you're interested in applying for those positions, you want to visit Career Services website, go from there.
So you said that I have to apply as an employment. Do you mean I have to finish my master's degree, then apply, or I can apply while I'm still a student doing my master's?
You can apply as a student. There are teaching assistant positions available for current graduate students.
And is it available as a full-time teaching position or part-time?
So that would be a question actually for career services. Unfortunately, we don't handle the employment side of things. So you want to check out those job posting and reach out to career services and the potential supervisor for more details on the job information.
Sure, I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and we did have a question through the chat. How long does it take to find out the amount of financial aid received after the application is submitted through the FAFSA website? So typically it takes about 3 to 5 business days for a FAFSA to reach us after it's been completed. For the spring semester, we are actively packaging students. So as long as you aren't selected for verification, it would take about 1 to 2 weeks for your financial aid information to become available. Now, for the summer term and the fall term, we haven't started packaging students for those semesters yet. The packaging for summer, or I'm sorry, it typically takes place in February. And for the upcoming academic year, we hope to start putting out that information in February as well.
So yeah, if this is after February and you're checking on your summer or fall 2023 financial aid and you haven't heard anything from us, after about a month, you can reach out to us. We can take a look at your account and make sure everything's good to go. For the spring semester, if you haven't received it, definitely reach out to us. We can take a look actually, because our processing team should be constantly
I just
working on
applied
them.
the other day, so it's probably just getting to you soon. I was just curious
That makes sense.
what kind of, no, I was just curious what kind of timeline to expect because I have a call for registration this week. So I wasn't sure. Just wanted to double check. Thank you.
That's a great question though, Jamie. Thank you. So any additional questions?
And while we're waiting on that, I just want to mention one thing really quick. So for our phone lines, we actually have a whole team of staff that's manning them. We don't have a voicemail system. So if you do contact us, that phone number listed on there during our business hours, your call will be picked up. it's not going to go unanswered. Our phone line opens all the way until 4:45, and sometimes our team members are still here at 5:30 because someone called right at 4:44, and it's a long discussion. So if you need assistance, and sometimes there may be a wait, especially during lunch hours, but if you just give it a few minutes, wait a bit longer, someone will get to you. Just want to let everybody know, because we know some offices will be using voicemail system, then they return calls, and then sometimes you don't get a call back. We don't use a voicemail system, so you should always be able to get a hold of us.
Wonderful. All right, any additional questions? And I had just a point of clarification. I know that you had mentioned, Mallory, talking about the summer aid. So that is a separate application for students as well? I want to make sure I understood that correctly.
Sure. So if a student needs to use the Federal Graduate Plus Loan, or if they opt to use the Federal Graduate Plus Loan, they do have to submit a separate application for that.
Okay.
But the FAFSA for the 2022-23 academic year would be used for summer. So there's not a separate FAFSA, just a separate Graduate Plus application if needed.
Okay, great. Because we do often have, especially we have a summer start for our program. So I wanted to make sure that I was telling them accurate information when filling out the financial aid. So that's very helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And that's really a really great question, because comes April, the Grad Plus Loan application would usually open for the upcoming school year too. So when they go in there, there are 2 years application. One's for 2022, 2023, the other for the upcoming year. And they want to use the 2022, 2023 years. It's really confusing. That's a really good question. We get that questions a lot, actually.
Okay, great. Yeah, oftentimes during the spring when I'm talking with students about that upcoming summer, I have to catch myself to say, oh, wait, okay, you will need this information from the previous year. So it's always good to know.
Yeah, that's a really confusing thing, because we do that for the Parent Plus Loan too, and we have undergraduate students' parents calling about the same question.
All right, any last questions that we have, or point of clarification, or any additional questions that may not have been covered throughout the presentation? Oh, and one other thing that I just thought of, I know that we touched on the outside scholarship opportunities, and is there a certain website that students could go to, or a resource that you would know of that's specific for graduate level scholarships?
So, as far as the search engines are concerned, I don't think that any of them are specifically for graduate students. There are opportunities available for all students. You should be able to filter on those search engines. And we do have several trusted search engines listed on our website. If you go to financialaid.wvu.edu/scholarships, under the external scholarships section, there is a link within that page for the search engines.
Okay.
And like I said, those are ones that are trusted. So
Wonderful. All right. Well, if there are no additional questions, I wanted to just thank Lynn and Mallory again for taking some time to chat with us about financial aid and any questions that we have. I know that it's definitely a point of contingency when you're applying for graduate level education. So it's just really helpful to have this additional resource. And of course, we will put this up on our website as well so that other students can refer when needed. But thank you both so much. And thank you all for joining today. and just let us know if you have any other questions. So thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you all so much for having us.
Yes, thanks so much.